Over the past 9 months here on After Hours with Cade, I've had a blast highlighting local talent in the Southwest Oklahoma area. For this final edition, I've sat down with Norville, the Elephant, the Whale, the Band, a group featuring 9 of Southwest Oklahoma's music heavyweights striving to attract more to join in the music scene here in the area.
My name's Justin. I'm basically from Lawton, Oklahoma. Been here a long time, and I love it so much.
Hey, I'm Scott Rains, born in Lawton. Grew up in Duncan, keep coming back to Lawton. You can't escape a good thing.
I'm Garrett Glass, and I was born and raised here in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I'm the vocalist for Lukavi and Norville.
My name is Dakota. I was born in Winter in Alaska, but now I live in Lawton.
My story is not as cool as that. We moved to Lawton in '97, so I've been here for something like 27 years, if the math is right.
I'm Seth. I'm one of the vocalists from Lawton, born in Lawton, still here.
I'm David Dotson. I'm from Lawton. I'm the drummer for the band, and I love it so much.
My name is Ryan. I play guitar. I'm not from Lawton, but I think it's a pretty cool place.
Well, the 9 of you make up Norville. Well, in reality, we have 8 because we are missing 1 member. But I want you guys to talk about the decision of how you came to form this band outside while you already had bands formed on your own.
I had a vision. It came to me. It came to me on a 4th of July, so take it for what it is. Garrett and Justin were there, and I said, we're going to do this a year from now. A year passed, didn't happen. And so then I reached out and started trying to make it happen. I hit up Dakota and Matt, and we had writing sessions over at Matt's place for about 4 months. As I believe he's called it, we ate a lot of ice cream and got really creative. And then it was like, okay, we got to do this by a certain time. Let's assemble, the Super Friends. And so we did. And just started working on these songs, and what started this framework just turned into something cool, and what was supposed to be a one-time gig turned into a band.
Okay, well, with all of you guys being in different vans, how do you guys set time aside to specifically for Norville? How do you guys work on your time management, especially with there being 9 members in the band?
Okay, so we get everybody together based off their work schedule. With having multiple bands like I do, really it's really not that difficult. One band doesn't practice at the same time as the other. Lukavi's already consisted in Norville, so it's easy to be able to differentiate times between the 2 bands if we need to separate and make music that's separate from Norville.
Yeah, a lot of times we would just, if we had to really jam in our sessions, we would just do it in the same day because that was possible. We would, Lukavi would come in at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, jam for 2 hours, then everybody else in Norville would show up, and then we would jam in Norville. And that would only happen if like we had the same show that month or something was happening soon for this band, and we're like, well, we got to fit it in somehow. So, but it worked out, and it was pretty easy.
Well, with the majority of you being from Lawton and Southwest Oklahoma as a whole, how do you feel like the area has impacted how you approach music?
Lawton produces a lot of interesting music. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're stuck right between Dallas and Oklahoma City as far as bigger cities go. So we don't have a lot of those sort of more populated areas imposing like any sort of trends or, whatever bands are doing in those cities. Everybody here just kind of makes weird desert music if the desert is just a bunch of grass. So you don't have a lot to do other than sort of seek out bands, find things that you like to drive to, because there's a lot of driving in this area. you get a lot of eclectic tastes at that point. And I think that putting all that together in Norville has created some really weird lineup songs, but it's cool. They work together. You know, we've got songs that sound like early 90s alternative, butted up against songs that are a little bit heavier, sort of Mastodon or Lamb of God inspired, just kind of all over the place. But it also helps that we have a massive community of musicians. There's tons of us, and we all really know each other really well, and we get along. So there's a huge exchange of ideas, and that sort of distilled itself whenever Scott put out the call and you had that many people answer.
Well, you guys are currently working on your first EP. How would you say the other bands in town or the other have influenced how you approach your EP? Are you approaching it in original music or original content?
It all goes back to buttered sausages and a lot of ice cream and just getting weird. No, you commandeer an idea, you follow it, and you just go with, hey, this sounds cool, what works best for this? And that's why, and I get to use the slogan now. Are you ready for it, guys? It's Stoner Prairie Desert Party Doom. It's fun, you know, it's fun music, but we have moments where it's just like, you know, and that's fun. And that's such a Southwest Oklahoma thing, because, I mean, we're barbarians, you know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. And might as well just have fun with it. I mean, we're in a vacuum of our own thing. Everybody's creative. We like fuzz, we like noise, we like playing together, and we like mixing things up. So, you know, if the song sounds like you threw Slipknot and Queens of the Stone Age in a blender, so be it. Who else sounds like that? And that's fun and it's inspirational. So, I don't know. That's as Southwest Oklahoma as it gets. You do stuff because it's just like surviving. I mean, duct tape and baling wire, you figure out something cool with it.
Do you guys feel like Norville kind of fits into that small town aesthetic, or do you guys break out of that mold?
I feel like it fits the vibe whenever, because we have so much versatility in our music that you can't, I mean, I guess you could be like, well, I only like this one song because it sounds like this. But it's like a buffet, you know? You can just pick what you want.
I feel like a lot of the prairie itself, I feel like has its own, I don't know, its own vibe in itself that we all just kind of have tapped into in our own special way that kind of makes everything that we do really unique to the area. When you take all of those bands that all have such cool, you know, unique features about themselves, and then you put all of those bands in a blender and you get Norville, and I love it so much.
All right, well, you guys are in the middle of the progress of your first EP. Talk to me about how that's going, how many songs you've got finished, and how many you plan on having on the EP.
So we have 5 songs that we have recorded for this first EP. They're our first 5 originals. I think we're all done in the studio except for the vocals. So release is still TBD.
We're waiting on the blurs to be provided by our vocalists. There's a lot going on in the studio. We went through Kramer at 1121 Recordings here in town, who's a good friend of ours. You know, we've played with him before. He's a fellow musician, and he knows all of us, and he loves Scott just the same. So we went with him to record, and he was really good about letting us kind of explore things in the studio. We had these songs for about a year, and we kind of vary them up whenever we play them. Most of the recordings of us playing live music, you're probably going to hear the same song done a couple different ways. But when we get in the studio, we had time to sort of sit down and be like, well, maybe we should have a run here, or should it be fuzzier here and maybe more distortion or clean in this spot? And he's really cool with just letting us like take the time to do that. And he enjoys doing it himself. He's a major gearhead. So we just get in there. It can be kind of crowded sometimes with like 8 bodies in a small room just burning up, but we all love it so much that we don't mind doing it. So yeah, we all kind of sacrifice Sundays, days off, things like that, just to go over there and hang out and make sure the record is what we want it to be. And we're excited for people to hear it. I think it's gonna be really good.
I'm willing it to be. No, Kramer said he'll get us a single first. Once we get the lyrics down for a very special song named after a very special band and an elephant. Hopefully by mid next month. Who knows? I mean, hopefully before we play the Prairie Fire Festival in October. How about that?
Do you guys have any plans right now to release a music video with the EP drop?
Well, we are hoping to. We have a few ideas for a couple of our songs. Like we explained earlier, it's tough to get all 8 or 9 of us in one place at the same time. So we're trying to come up with tasteful concepts that doesn't take too much work, but you won't be able to tell it didn't take a lot of work when you see the videos. I'm hoping we can do both, and that way we can have some cool visuals with our recorded music, you know, between now and the end of next month.
Well, with only having one streaming song available online, you guys have amassed a pretty good following on Facebook and in the area. What's one of your favorite things about performing in Southwest Oklahoma?
The people, the crowd. A lot of them are friends. I mean, we all congregate at the same bar here in town, Railhead Saloon. And I mean, you just meet people that end up becoming a part of your family. And I mean, Railhead family is a thing. It's been a thing for a long time. And I mean, they always show their support, you know, whether they're there in person at the front of the stage or at home liking and sharing our Facebook posts, things like that. Like, they're a loving crowd, and I mean, they'll give you good feedback. I've gotten feedback from them. I mean, it'll be, hey man, you were great, or hey man, work on this next time, try this. And it's like, because I mean, they've just been so wrapped up in this scene for so long, like they just know the ins and outs. And so it's it's probably one of the best parts about being able to perform here in Southwest Oklahoma.
I think, honestly, I mean, the people are I mean, it's awesome. Like I've already said, you know, I'm not from Lawton. I live in Tipton, but from the first time I came over here to the Railhead and played with my band, Chasing the Coyote, we felt just a part of the group immediately. I mean, upon walking through the doors, it felt almost like, you know, you're home away from home. So I think that with Norville as well. I mean, we seem to have a really good group of people who enjoy the music and like to show up to the shows, and they're engaged with the shows and all that. So I think that's awesome, personally.
Well, Scott, you being here for 20 plus years, can you talk about what keeps you in Lawton and what continues to make you fascinated with performing?
Man, I've been beating around in less than great bands for many, many moons. And, you know, I'd stopped for a long time. This thing was a concept to do a one-time show and kind of go out with a bang with the people that I respected and have grown to love the most. I mean, as in a brotherhood sort of way. Don't get any ideas, guys. And you know, I'm used to being in like I'm an old school kind of noise punk kid, so my whole thing was more about kind of annoying a crowd than anything. Anybody that knows me would know that. But it's really nice to be in something that's like, wow, I really like these songs and people really like them, and it's just fun. You know, Lawton, again, it's home. There's a place I wanted to do it and everything, but it's nice. I mean, like I said, these guys are just fantastic. And what they come from LaCavi to Astro-Throne to Chasing the Coyote, you know, whatever conglomeration that we've all been in and have been in before, Nacho Cart. Geez, we can name check everybody. It's a great tradition. And I've covered this place forever, and I remember when Lawton was like a must stop between Dallas and Oklahoma City, because we had deadcore really in its prime. They're still in their prime. They sound better than ever. But deadcore, Coma Trip, Backwash, Who am I missing? Handguns turned into Illusion. There were a lot of bands at a certain period that Lawton was on the verge of just blowing up. Didn't to the level it should have. But we're just carrying on a tradition. I know there was a generation of bands before those bands that were at that same place, and I've been seeing live shows for decades. Lawton has brought some of the greatest live shows I've ever seen. I like to think we're in that echelon where people think of us like that. And if you've never played live, it's hard to explain it. If you've ever played live and you had that one show that hits, and then you understand if you have multiple shows that hit, you understand, and it's crazy, you know. We get opportunities, we're trying to spread out, but it blows my mind to see people want us. We're a lot, we're a handful, and we're really loud, but you know, it's rock and roll, man. It's not for the faint of heart.
Once you guys have released your EP, do you guys have any goal areas that you're looking forward to touring and performing in?
I would say Oklahoma City, Dallas, Tulsa, places around in Texas.
Tulsa would be fun.
Places like that. Norman. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, anywhere we can. We all genuinely like playing. So I think we're all just kind of hopeful that not so much even blow up, but that when we put the EP out, enough people hear it that they want us to come to their town and play. There's something about hearing a band. We hope that people hear the album and they want us to come play in their city, because there's something about finding like a local band from somewhere that you can kind of carry around in your pocket, and that's kind of tough sometimes because you might never get to see that band if they're really local to where they are and you can't travel and you just can't see them. That is a huge bummer, especially when you're younger. So if we were able to make the 9-member band work as far as travel, we would love to go do shows for anybody who likes the songs. It would break my heart if somebody really dug the album and they just could never see it live. So that is definitely a plan.
All right, well, with you guys being from Southwest Oklahoma, performing here so frequently, and having a rather positive feedback from the community, where do you feel like there are areas of improvement?
Venues, man. We need more places to play. We need bigger places to play, or even if they're small, I mean, just more places to play. Because, I mean, not everybody can be in the bar, like underage. Like, you know, Vasca isn't doing it very often, but when they do, it's a good turnout. But they don't do it every week. And having a place to play every week, and then not just for us, for any band, it'd be great for all ages. Skate park, something. So that's one improvement I would like to see.
Yeah, a convenient place for any age. Because I remember when I was like 14, I got to go to places that were having local shows, and that changed everything for me. That definitely cemented that I wanted to be in a band more than just play guitar. And when those Vasca shows have happened, I mean, you can see just people from children to teenagers just really having a good time. So a convenient space for anyone to play or anyone to see a show would be perfect for this area.
Something like an outside amphitheater would be extraordinarily nice to have around here. Something like that, to where you could be able to have an all-ages event, something like that. Because the only thing we have is just a bar to play at. Yeah, definitely more venues would be down our alley.
Well, y'all touched on it a little bit, playing all ages shows. Coming from that perspective and, you know, being in the footsteps, you know, as a young child and having that first experience with your first rock concert, how does it feel from y'all's perspective, being that person for somebody here in town? Really inspired them to grow a love for rock.
Oh, man, it's a rush. Because, I mean, I remember the first time I heard music live, and it just was like, it was just this. It's hard to really put a name or just put the sensation in the words. Like, it was just this odd feeling, and you would get it every time, and eventually you got used to it. It's like, oh yeah, cool, live music. But like, being able to play music in front of a crowd, especially at the Vasquez Revival rock shows that they would have periodically. Like, seeing the kids out there just like their eyes are just glazed over in awe, like, holy cow. Like, and then at the end of the show we tell them, like, you guys can do this too. You know, like, I didn't just grow up, you know, playing music or writing music or performing. It just kind of happened. Thanks to this dude right here, who's the most comfortable person right now. I'm second. But you know, just being able to expose somebody to just a different way of life. It's, you know, just showing them a different way, like, hey, like, you don't have to do whatever it is you're doing the rest of your life, or like, you know, mom and dad signed you up for football or soccer, like, I'm gonna be a soccer player. Like, you can be so many different things, and just showing someone another alternate route. You know, who knows? You know, little Timmy in the crowd might be like, I want to pick up a bass guitar. I want to learn how to play drums, you know, or I want to get up there and supply the blaze, you know. Like, it's just cool being able to provide that opportunity to enlighten somebody.
Remembering when I was a teenager, when I was younger, and watching local bands around the Tillman County area, and how cool and awesome I thought those bands were. And just every time I got the opportunity, I got to go and I could go watch them, I would. And I remember having like that passion, I guess, for the music, and wanting to become what I was seeing, you know, these guys doing on stage, just, you know, playing and having fun and writing cool songs and just having a good time with it. And to think that if I were to be that for somebody, I think that's the coolest thing ever, I think, and I love it so much.
All right. Well, I know that Norville started off as a one-off. It was just to be a one performance, and then you guys have formed the band. You've been together for years now. What are your current goals for Norville? 5 years down the line, where do you see the band?
5 years.
Yeah, we're commitment folks.
Man, we're gonna be replaced. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just do Norville AI from now on.
Yeah, we'll write in the prompt, and the computer will play the songs.
I hope we're still together playing music, with a bunch of new songs, with whatever accolades of travel and all that. And I mean, we could cycle in people to just make it even more versatile with other musicians who are in town. That way it's not just this group of guys being silly all the time. A lot of people can be included. I think that would be fun.
Norville is like Batman, and it is an idea. It is no one man or group of 9 men. It may be a group of 15 ladies at some point, a collective, if you will. Yeah, it's Scott's baby. We're all lucky to be in it. We know a lot of other talented musicians that we've spoken to who have a desire to do it. You know, as far as like a long-term goal thing, I think just pushing it to be as weird as it can possibly be for as long as we can. You know, getting different people to get in it, get more chefs in the kitchen to just put madness down and go show it to people and be like, this is music. And hopefully it's cool enough that they're like, okay, yeah. And I think that's really it.
Would you say that's what makes Norville unique and stand out from other bands trying to come up in Southwest Oklahoma?
I mean, there's a lot of things that make Norville unique, but yeah, the versatility of the musicians and the ability to just have fun. Everybody in the band is genuine fans of each other's bands and friends. We all have a good time, and I think that's why we kept going for so long, is we had those practices for the one show, and we were like, well, man, pretty fun hanging out with you boys. I'd like to keep doing that. I really like the songs, and I don't think anybody could put it down. And yeah, just all those minds in the same room, moving air around with really cool sticks and little bits of plastic and metal and wire is just a good time. Playing these weird songs is a good time. We hope that endures. We think that it's fun enough to endure, and yeah, we just want to keep doing it. It's just a bunch of cavemen in a room making noise, moving air around with a bunch of cool sticks. That Garrett got mad at me one early morning for pointing that out. Yeah. Tons of ice cream. We like snacks. Step on each other's cords a lot, which happens when you got that many dudes in a room. Just a lot of smells and noises. And a lot of quoting movies that have nothing to do with what we're doing. Non sequiturs. Scott will appear bringing you the deepest lore about any band you want to know about. Yeah. You gotta. Yeah. Scott makes $1. Ryan makes a dime. Dakota takes meetings on Norville time.
All right, where can people find you online? What's your social media?
Quoting our namesake, Jinkies. Norville, the Elephant, the Wizard, the Band, something like that on Facebook. And Norville the Band on Instagram. But Norville, the Wizard, the Elephant, it's really long. Just type Norville and then and it should pop up. We have an elephant. It says Norville. And there's pictures with us in it. We're cute. So, I don't know, find us. We're if you type in Norville and Scott Rains or Norville Yosh 667, there's a lot of live videos of us there. Spotify, we have The Witch live at the Railhead Saloon. More's coming. Come to a show. How about that? Oh man, and what is we have an online store. What is the link, Bethlehem? Norville.bigcartel.com. We've got t-shirts, they're a-coming. We got stickers, they're David approved. I mean, I don't know what more you want, but we'll have more cool stuff. That's the beauty of this, is beyond the musicianship, everybody brings something to the table. We have an amazing artist. We have amazing marketing. We have people that bring something all the way across the board, Garrett is working his flyer game. Matt works his flyer game. Dakota's just awesome and tells people about us while he pokes holes in them and plays music. I mean, everybody does. We all bring something unique. Francis, he also doubles as sound man for a lot of our shows, and he's a wizard. Brandon Kramer is the 10th member. He's a wizard. There's a lot to it. So you'll find us. We appear just like me.
We'll find you.
I just love it so much. That's all I can say.
Before we wrap, is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss that I have not had a chance to mention?
Hey, all you kiddos out there in Latonian land and beyond, Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, wherever you are, wherever your family lives, pick up an instrument. Drumsticks, guitar, bass, ukuleles, I don't know, trombones, whatever. And don't be afraid to growl or scream, even if your mom is scared. What is my child doing in there? She'll get over it. And remember, Norville loves you.